Welcome back to Wizard Supercoach. I said in my last video that I'd aim to do the Geelong preview today, but time got the better of me again, so that is likely to happen tomorrow. I did want to put out a quick video though. I've just watched the Crom Intra club game, and it's pretty good to watch actually. Like, starved of footy obviously in the off season, so watching any footy is good, but it actually wasn't that bad as far as intra club games go. And I took some notes, being a massive nerd, and I thought I'd share them because there's some good Supercoach relevant stuff in there. So the first half was the A versus B team, and there wasn't really too many surprises in terms of the lineup. Rankin obviously not playing because he's playing the Indigenous game, and Nankervis was in the B team, which was a bit of a shock. Then in the second half, it became the A forwards versus the A defenders, and they mixed up the middle just a little bit. I think Dawson went onto the B team and stuff, but obviously we know that's not really going to happen. So I'm only really going to talk about the A team players in this video. The first thing I noticed is they're not looking to bomb ball down the line as much anymore. So last year, like going to games, I was ready to just walk out. Like, they're losing the game and they're just kicking long down the boundary every time. And it's not going to win you games. So the good thing in terms of Supercoach is this could mean a bit more of a possession style through the middle, and we know that creates points. If you look at like the Bulldogs and stuff over the last few years, there's a good example. The CBA mix was fairly interesting, I guess. It looked to be Dawson, Crouch, Peatling, Draper, which was good. Saligo, and I think Rochelle got a couple as well. I could be wrong. I think Keys may have got a couple as well, but it's pretty hard to see. So I'll start down back, and Worrell was one of the standouts. Like, he was everywhere, especially early. He was taking intercepts and just racking it up, and he's a good kick and all that. All the things he was doing, obviously, they would have translated to a good Supercoach score if anyone was actually taking the points, but unfortunately they weren't. He took a few kick-ins as well, which was a good sign, but Keane still seems to be taking the majority, unfortunately. And Michelini dislocated his thumb, so he went off sometime in the first quarter. And so in the second half, Worrell had to take that third lockdown role, and he was on Tex. So, it's probably not likely to happen often in the season, and it's not like Worrell disappeared, but he definitely wasn't intercepting and stuff as much. Miller, he looked decent, and he played half back. Still looks really hard to tackle, but I don't think any of that changes the problem with him, and that's his horrendous durability. So as far as a pick is concerned, there's still that hanging over his head. I barely noticed Hinge or Laird at half-back. They both played. Not sure what was going on there. Maybe Laird is just completely washed up. I don't know. Move to the midfield now, and Matt Crouch started on the bench, and he joined the CBAs once Dawson went off. So this might give us a little bit of a clue as to how the CBA mix is going to work, although I did see them in there together later on. He had a lot of the ball, as he usually does, but he seemed to spread from the contest and tackle a bit more than we usually see, and he wasn't turning it over. Like, the amount of times that he won the ball at the contest and then shoveled it out to an outside player running past, like a Cumming or whoever it was really nice to watch. So he just looked like he had more time than the other players. Like, think of, I guess, a bit like Pendlebury. He gets the ball and then it kind of goes into slow motion. It just looked like that. It must be experience. He did start the second quarter in the guts, not on the bench. I think it's all pretty good signs. Looks like he will continue to get those CBAs this season. So, while he might not be one that people are looking to pick much, it does give us a clue towards this CBA puzzle at Crom. Peatling also had a lot of CBAs and a lot of the ball, particularly early, but his kicking and decision making, it's not great judging by today. So there was one in particular that stood out to me. There was a ball up deep in the back pocket, and Peatling just grabbed it out of there, which was good, but then he just slung it on the boot and kicked it straight down the middle to someone who intercepted it 40 metres out from goal. So That's not good at all. Like, bad clanger. You don't want to be seeing that. Makes me think that he might be like a Tim Taranto hacker type, unfortunately. Not always going to translate to good scores. But, we've seen that last year he can score well. So, yeah, I'm not off the pick or anything. And to be fair, it was pretty windy, but, other players seem to get by. So, not really an excuse. Dawson looked great, but he clearly wasn't going too hard at it. He took some nice contested marks as well. A couple were forced because shitty delivery, but you get that. Again, it was windy. It did worry me a little bit that after he started in the middle and he was in the CBAs, and then later in the quarter I think he went to the bench, but when he came back out, he was on the wing for a little bit, and then he finished the quarter, I think he finished the first and second quarters down back late. So that's fine because we know that he can score there, but that stint on the wing, I don't like that. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, the wing, not ideal for Supercoach, especially with the way the Crom play, I think, or the way they're looking to play now. It looks very direct. Yeah, Draper impressed me a lot. Looks like they actually nailed a top pick. He's got that ability to just burst away from the pack. He's really fast, and that's what they needed. Like, they've got Rankin to do that as well. Obviously, he didn't play, but yeah, if you can have, the two of them, like one in one rotation and one in the other, like it's going to be pretty hard to stop. So yeah, he got decent CBAs. I mean, I don't have a number or anything, but he seemed to be in there a fair bit, particularly as the game went on. And he hit the scoreboard too with 1 goal, 1. So I think I'm a lot more likely to pick him now. He looks like he's going to slot in, probably be the 5th or 6th man for CBAs. So yeah, I'm a lot more confident. Maybe they've finished holding him back now from those back problems that he was having and all that. But yeah, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't play round 1. Like, he just looks ready to go. Like, he's ready-made. Now, I've already said when I did the Crom preview, I don't think Saligo's a pick anymore, and that was kind of backed up. He looked like he spent most of his time on the wing. He's still got some CBAs, including the opening bounce, but I don't think it was nearly as much as the others. Like, I don't think he's top 3 CBA getter anymore. Cumming was a bit quiet, I thought, and to be honest, he was the only recruit that I wasn't overly impressed with today. Obviously, it doesn't mean much. It's only an Intra club, but he spent most of his time on the wing, and he did switch with Miller for a little bit onto the half back. I don't think Scholl played, and I think Scholl's going to take the other wing, so I don't know how that's going to work between like Cumming, Scholl, Saligo, Miller. Chase Jones wasn't bad, so he might be in that mix. I don't know how that's going to work, so yeah, I don't think Cumming's a pick just from watching that. He hasn't been in my team once either, so yeah, not really passing the stat or the eye test. If he was on the half back full time, then I think it'd be a different story. But yeah, on the wing, he's kind of in no man's land, as we saw last year at the Giants. Move to the forward line, skip the rucks for now, and the standout forward for me was Curtin, so he's now in my side. He wasn't before, but I saw enough here to think that he's going to play round 1. He took heaps of marks, and he looks real hard to beat on the lead when he gets up the ground. I think as well, like the key forwards, you got Thilthorpe, Fogarty, and Tex, so that's a hard 3 to match up on for any defence. I'm not being biased, but 3 actual quality tall forwards. Basically, Tex is the 3rd man these days. I don't know if all 4 play on the ground at once, like those 3 and Curtin, but Curtin's versatile and he can play up the ground, so there's a possibility all 4 are on the field at once, and Curtin could cop the 4th defender, so that would be a nightmare, I think, for someone to match up as a 4th defender on someone his size. He's massive. But yeah, really mobile, so the interesting thing as well was that him and Tex seem to split the ruck work in the forward 50. And I didn't see Thilthorpe in the ruck at all. Now, he could have gone in there. I did miss a chunk of the game, particularly in the second quarter, but I didn't see Thilthorpe rucking at all. So if you did see him rucking, let me know in the comments. The good thing about Thilthorpe, though, is that he doesn't really seem to need CBAs or anything as a second ruck to score. If he's going to score, it's up forward. He himself, like Phil thought, he looked like he was in first gear, and he looked alright. He didn't have to really do much. He still kicked 2 goals, few assists or whatever, but yeah, didn't look like he was going too hard. My man Keys, though, he did look intense. He got a lot of tackles. Unfortunately, he did get done for holding the ball himself a couple of times, but I don't know, what can you do about that? He had quite a few score assists, and he was playing up the ground as well, like he did late last year. So, playing as that extra mid at times as well. I think he may have got a couple of CVAs. I'm not sure. It was pretty hard to tell. The game on the TV, it honestly looked like it was filmed with a 1999 webcam or something like that. So I could be mistaken there. And it looks like Neil Bullen didn't really affect Keys at all. Like, Keys was still doing what he was doing. Neil Bullen was on the other flank doing what he was doing. And yeah, I'm still looking at Keys as a pick. So he's not in my team currently, but yeah, this is still looking good. Oh, and also, unfortunately, his Pidgeotto hair looks to be gone. So he may have lost some power there, but whatever. So yeah, Neil Bullen, as I said, he played that other high half forward role, and he just looks so composed and clean in congestion. Something the Crom needed. Like, he's the only player on the list that's won a grand final. So yeah, we really needed that. I'm not sure he's Supercoach relevant at all, but you never know. Rochelle, as I mentioned earlier, he got a couple of CBAs, I think, and he looked a lot more involved than usual. Like, he was getting to more contests and covering more ground. Again, I know it's only an intra club, but it's still a good sign. His attitude looks to have changed a bit. He looked a lot more selfless, and he got a few nice score assists himself. And yeah, he kicked 2-1, and hoping for the breakout year this year. All he needs, probably judging by today, is one injury or something in the midfield, and he might be the man to start getting some extra CBAs. Not that I don't know if that necessarily translates to more points for him, but there's a good chance that it does. Finish off with the ruck, and obviously Rob isn't really Supercoach relevant, but the interesting thing here, McAndrew, he is the ex-Sydney player, obviously got delisted or whatever. He's a train on with the Crom at the moment, and he gave Rob a bath, I thought, in the first half. Like, he's a lot bigger than Rob, like a lot taller, but yeah, it was really interesting, and I was thinking, I wish we could open up a list spot for this guy, because there currently is none, unfortunately. But the second half, Rob seemed to take over. I think he must have worked out how to deal with the height advantage or something, and Rob kicked a late goal, which is pretty rare. So, but if there is an injury or whatever to the Crom in the preseason, then McAndrew looks a good shout, I reckon, to get a spot. I don't think they should bother persisting with Strawn. So yeah, McAndrew makes more sense, and if he can do what he did to Rob in the first half, maybe Rob would be looking over his shoulder. So that's it for the single players. The goal kickers that I saw were Tex with a lazy 4, Jones, Thilthorpe, and Rochelle got 2, Keys, Fogarty, and Draper. And Rob got 1 each. So there's probably more, but as I said, I did miss a chunk of the second quarter and a little bit at the end. So that's about it. I just wanted to put out a quick video in case people missed it. Yeah, I was watching pretty intently, as I am a Crom nuffy and a footy-starved Crom nuffy at that. But yeah, I need, I think, 46 subscribers to reach my goal of 300 by round 0. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit the button. It should be good tomorrow watching some more games. I think there's a North Melbourne Intra Club in the morning, and I think the Indigenous game is tomorrow. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's nice having some footy to watch. And yeah, it's making the Supercoach thing a little bit clearer, I guess. The thing to remember in these games is we're not necessarily watching for like who kicks goals and stuff like that. It's just pretty much role based, like who's getting CVAs, who's getting what role. It's really all you can go by for this, because you got to remember that a lot of these players, the ones that are entrenched in the 22, they're not going to be playing hard. It's more for those fringe players, I think, to try and state their claim. So as always, yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully you got something out of this. I don't know if anyone will, but I thought I'd better put one out anyway today. And yeah, I'll hopefully see you tomorrow for the Geelong preview.